What is going on, everybody? How are you doing today? My name is 8 Shots, and today I bring you the Pick'ems, my CDL Pick'ems video for the LA Thieves home series. Uh, I'm gonna be doing this today and bringing you guys the season 4 update trailer and review breakdown tomorrow. So I'm gonna have this up today. We also got the Battlefield 2042 trailer today, which looked absolutely amazing, and I got my fair share of being ripped apart on Twitter for not knowing every single feature in a battle game that's ever been there, because I've barely played the game, but that's neither here nor anywhere. Let's jump straight into the video so I can give you guys my pick'ems for the LA Thieves home series. Don't forget to comment down below your predictions too on who will be the winners and who will be the losers of this weekend's matches. I'd be very interested to know, and without further ado, let's get straight into the action. Starting off the week, Toronto Ultra and the LAG, the Los Angeles Guerrillas. Last week, Toronto Ultra only had one game and they ended up sweeping the Ravens. On the other hand, the Guerrillas had 2 games and they actually ended up losing both of them, not even close. So I have Toronto Ultra having an easy win here to kick things off 3-0. Moving on to the next game, we have Optic Chicago and the Seattle Surge. The Seattle Surge, and I'm sorry if there's any Surge fans watching this, but on days are just so fucking depressing to watch because the Surge are, for some reason, some team, like in my mind, that I want to win. When I see them here with games to play, I want them to win, and I hope they do win. But they got 2 games this week that I just do not see them winning at all. That's really unfortunate because unlike all the other teams, this really is their playoff push now. And by the way things are looking and how I have them laid out here on my bracket, and with land coming up, I just don't think they're going to be able to pull it off. They're against Optic Chicago, and I have Optic beating them 3-1. Surge got absolutely dominated last week and losing both their games. Meanwhile, Optic only having one, they ended up beating Paris Legion. So I think they carry that momentum into this week. This being their game on Thursday, and they also have one on Sunday. I find it kind of ironic how that's always the case with Optic, but anyway, I have them being Surge 3-1. Moving on into the next day on Friday, it's the New York Subliners and the London Royal Ravens. I'm taking NYSL to win this 3-1. They won both their games last week, with London only having one, and like I said earlier, against Toronto, they got swept. London has been playing better, but I just don't think at all they're even close to the level that NYSL has ascended to. So I'm taking New York all the way 3-1 on this one. Following, let's move on into our next game. It's the Los Angeles Thieves and the Minnesota Rocker. Minnesota ended up winning last week against the Surge, while the Thieves fell quite surprisingly to the Paris Legion, and they also fell to Atlanta FaZe, but they got swept, but that's FaZe. I think they're going to come back this week. It's going to be a very, very close game in my opinion. I think this game could go either way. Either way, I think the final score is going to be a 3-2. I think LA Thieves just have more firepower and a better strategy than the Minnesota Rocker do at the moment. Even with the addition of Major Maniac, they've been playing a little better. I can see this game going either way, Minnesota 3-2 or LA Thieves 3-2. Just in my bracket here, personally, I think LA Thieves are going to push out the victory and come out on top. Let's move on into our weekend matches. Starting everything off on Saturday, we have the Los Angeles Guerrillas and the Royal Ravens. Like I said, they ended up both losing last week miserably. The last time these two teams played was in Stage 2, so admittedly a long time ago. London ended up winning 3-0. But I don't think it's going to go that way this time. I think LAG, in my opinion, at least on the leaderboards, at least, they're one above Dallas. London. Sorry, London. I know that doesn't mean much. It's only by 20 points. But I still think LAG are going to be able to pull this off against London 3-2. I think it's going to be a very close game. Like I said about the other one with LA Thieves and the Rocker, I think it could honestly go either way. London winning this 3-2 or LAG winning this 3-2. I just got to go out for Apathy and Sheen because they're playing really well right now. And they're one of my favorite players to watch, at least in the CDL. Whenever I'm just kicking back and watching a random match, it's definitely Apathy and Sheen. So I'm going with the LA Guerrillas over the Ravens 3-2. Like I said, either way, I think it'll be a close game no matter the match. Next up is the Atlanta FaZe and the Minnesota Rocker. This is the only Atlanta FaZe game that they have until the major. I have them beating Minnesota 3-0. Obviously, I shouldn't have to say it, but Atlanta's just the more dominant team. Maybe Minnesota could pull off one map out of this, but I think either way, it doesn't matter. Atlanta FaZe is going to win anyway, but I have it on my bracket 3-0. Next, for the next game fuel match, it's the last one of the day on Saturday. It's the Dallas Empire and the Florida Mutineers. Last time these two teams played was way back in stage 3, and Dallas ended up winning 3-0. I know they've fallen behind the pack as of recently, and they haven't been playing to what everybody's expectations have been up to, and Florida has sort of been passing people's expectations, with Big Wake and Havoc having big games as of recent. But unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna happen this time. I think it'll be a close game, but on my bracket here, personally, I have Dallas beating the Florida Mutineers 3-1. It possibly could go 3-2. I think a lot of people on this would be riding for Florida, but Dallas had two good games last week sweeping the Gorillas, but they ended up losing to NYSL. But it was a very close game that they easily could have pulled off, but a couple mistakes happening throughout the map, and they ended up losing it. But I think they're going to carry that momentum moving into this week, and it's their only game, I believe. Yep, it's their only game, the two of these teams. I think Dallas is going to bring it for this one, definitely. 3-1. Last but not least, let's move on to Sunday for our final three games until the fourth major. We have Paris Legion and Seattle Surge to kick off the day. The last time these two teams played was back in the stage 2, I believe, and Seattle ended up winning 3-0. Unfortunately, like I said with Seattle, this is a match that I want to see them win. I want Seattle to win this match, and hopefully they can beat Paris. That's just something that me personally as a CDL fan would like to see, but unfortunately I just don't see being it done. Paris, they did end up beating the Thieves last week, but losing the Optic. I think they're going to bring that momentum in, even though they did lose the Optic, but I don't know, man. Surge, this is their push. If they're going to win this, then it'll impress me, but if they don't, that's pretty much it. I chalk it up. So I do hope it'll be close, though. I do hope it will be a close game, but unfortunately, I still have Paris. Just for the sake of my bracket, I have Paris beating the Surge 3-2, but I do hope Surge come out on top of that game. Moving on into the middle of the day, it's New York Subliners and my Toronto Ultra. I don't understand why this wasn't the fucking Game Fuel marquee match for Sunday. I mean, I think this is a matchup that people have been looking forward to for a very long time. I think the last time these two teams played was back in stage 2, and New York beat Toronto 3-1. It wasn't close, but they've made roster changes since then, and so have we. And I believe Toronto Ultra is going to come out 3-2. I think it'll be a very close game. I see us, NYSL, and FaZe as the top 3 teams. I see Toronto Ultra and NYSL a little more evenly matched skill-wise when it comes to matches, and FaZe just being a little higher on a higher tier, but not by much. We can still beat them, and we have beat them. So I think this is a matchup, a rematch, since stage 2. I think people have been looking forward to for a long time, and they were hoping we were going to see in the third stage bracket, but we didn't for the major. The third major. I have Toronto beating NYSL 3-2. I think it'll be a very close game, even though unfortunately if Toronto does lose, I still think it'll be very close. It'll be 3-2 NYSL or 3-2 Toronto, but I gotta roll with my boys 100%, and I believe they can win this. Why not? 3-2 Toronto Ultra. Moving on into the last game, which is the Game Fuel marquee match, and the last game until the fourth major, Optic Chicago and the Los Angeles Thieves. The last time these two teams played was back in stage 3, and the Thieves ended up beating Chicago 3-1. I remember that was a horrible game. A lot of people were upset by that. It was a heartbreaker. I remember watching it on my TV while I was playing Warcraft, in the comments going berserk. But with both of their losses last week, and Optic even have the one that they ended up winning last week against Paris, and I have them beating Surge earlier in the bracket, I think Optic's going to sweep them 3-0. I think Optic's just built a little better than the Thieves right now, And we have to remember, back in stage 3, that was weeks ago. Teams have adjusted, teams have made moves. They've gotten better or they've gotten worse. And in Thieves' case, it looks like last week they just went up to the task. But I do have them beating Minnesota this week. But like I said, that game could go either way. I believe if they lose to Minnesota, that will crush a lot of their momentum and will make it a lot more easier for Optic to come in heavy swinging and give them the 3-0. Anyway, guys, that's my pick'ems for this week before stage 4. I will let you guys know right now, for the stage 4 bracket video, I will have Mr. J back on and possibly another guest, but I know Mr. J will be returning, so I'm super excited to announce that. That's it for today's video, guys. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below who you think will be winning and who will be losing. I'd be super interested to know. That's it for me today, guys. I'm 8 Shots. Peace out.